Welcome to the online learning module for fractions and percents. This module is only intended as a review of fractions and percent. We'll start with learning how to reduce fractions. Express the following rational number 30 over 42 as a reduced fraction. The way we do this is that we'll look at these numbers and we'll look for a common factor. So for example, 2 is a common factor for both of these numbers, so we factor out the 2 from 30 and also from 42. Then to reduce the fraction, we can cancel the 2's. Now we have 15 over 21 as an equivalent fraction as 30 over 42. Again, we notice that 3 is a common factor, so we factor out 3 from both 15 and 21. Then we cancel the 3 and get 5 over 7. 5 over 7 have nothing in common, so our fraction is completely reduced to 5 over 7. Adding and subtracting fractions. Suppose we have two fractions that have the same common denominator, then adding and subtracting is very easy. All you have to do is add straight across and keep the denominator the same. Similarly for subtraction. Now what if I have a problem that have different denominators? In that case, we have to find the least common multiple between the two denominators. And so in this case, since 4 and 3 have nothing in common, that common multiple, the least common multiple is 12. So we need to multiply this fraction by 3 so that the bottom, the denominator, is 12. And we need to multiply 1 over 3 by 4, top and bottom, so that the bottom is also a 12. So let's do that. So multiply 3 on the denominator and the numerator, then we have this fraction, and I'm going to multiply 1/3 top and bottom by 4 to get that common 12. If I do that, I get 9 over 12 plus 4 over 12. Now the denominator is common, so I add just as before, straight across, and then keeping the 12. Subtraction. Again, we have different denominators, we need to find a common denominator. And in this case, since 6 and 9 have a common factor of 3, again we can see that the least common multiple for 6 and 9 is 18. And so to do that, we're going to have to multiply this by 3 top and bottom to get 18, and 9 and 2 top and bottom by 2 to get the 18. If I do that, I get 15 over 18 minus 4 over 18. And then we have the common denominator. When I subtract, I'll just take 15 minus 4, which is 11. Then here's my answer. Okay, how do I multiply fractions? Multiplying fraction is even easier. All I have to do is multiply straight across. 3 times 10 is 30. 5 times 9 is 45. And then I'm going to have to reduce this fraction. So if I take out a 15, then I can reduce it to 2 over 3. How do I divide fractions? To divide fraction, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. And so you notice here's the division sign. So the fraction that comes after that, I'm going to flip it over. So that's the reciprocal. And so 7 over 6 is reciprocal is 6 over 7. Then I multiply as before, straight across. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 7 is 21. Then I reduce a fraction. So those are the basic operations of adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions. Let's briefly talk about percents. 1/4 can be written in many ways, as a decimal or as a percent. So as a decimal is 0.25, and as a percent is 25%. This is found by doing long division. Another example is 2/5 is 0.4 or 40%. Now what if I want to know what 25% of 80 is? When I see the word of, I'm going to multiply. And so to find 25% of 80, I'm going to rewrite this statement as 25% times 80. So again, of is replaced by times. When we do math, we usually like to use either decimal or fraction. So we're going to convert this into a decimal. That is 0.25, and then we're going to multiply it. When I multiply this, I get I'm going to convert this into a fraction and then multiply as before by multiplying straight across, and I get 80 over 4, which is the same thing as 20. So 25% of 80 is 20. Now suppose I have a coat that costs $80 and it is on sale for 25% off. What is the new price? Since 25% of 80 is 20, which we found earlier, the new price is 80, which is the original price, subtracting the 20, which is 60. Another way of doing this is that we can think about the 25% off as 25% off of 100%, which is the original price. And so I can take 25% away from 100%, so that's leave 75%. Then we do that problem we did earlier by changing this into a decimal and multiplying. So in both cases we have the same answer. Now what if the coat's price is increased by 25%? What is the new price? Well, when we decrease the price, you subtract 25%. So when you increase the price, you add 25% to 100. So 125%, which is incorporating the 25% increase of 80, is convert this to decimal and multiply, give us 100, which is the same if we think about adding 20 to 80. And that concludes the lesson on percents and decimal.